No, and I mean, if you look back at your career, I mean, 92, no, 91, you did your first Olympia then. It was 91, correct?
91, I got second.
You got second to Lee Haney. So now going into 92, because I remember we had a conversation a long time ago. Because I asked you, I said, what did you do from 92 to 93? Because you not only changed the game when it comes to photo shoots, you changed the game in bodybuilding. You can look back, Dorian Yates changed the game completely. From 92 to 93, people still to this day talk about your improvement. And I remember you telling me, I didn't improve. He said, I just didn't lose the unnecessary weight that I was losing the year before. Something similar to that. You remember?
Yeah, because what I used to do, I mean, we didn't have digital cameras or anything then. You take a shot with the camera and then you got to go take it to the pharmacy to get developed and all this stuff. So every week leading up to the contest, I used to take some pictures at home in the same kind of light, the same place and everything like that. And 92, I was aware that I was probably losing some size because I wanted to get shredded, as I knew Haney wasn't competing and Kevin Levrone was not really on the radar at that point in my mind. So I'm thinking, who's my competition? Logically, it's Vince Taylor because he got third to my second. Sean Ray, Labrada, all these guys are much smaller than me. So I can afford to maybe lose some size to come in shredded. So I beat them in size and I beat them in condition as well.
Right.
So I was aware that I was losing a bit, but I don't think I was aware of how much. So I went back and I looked and I'm like, here, look at this picture, 6 weeks out. I got shredded glutes. I look in contest shape. So 6 weeks, I'm losing weight. Okay, I got a little bit more separated, a little harder, but I got flatter, I got smaller. So I try to avoid doing that next time, although I still had a tendency to do it a little bit, overdo things, because that's just...
You still were ready 6 weeks out, because I remember those pictures, you standing there with your socks on.
Yeah, I still probably sacrificed a bit, but there was a huge difference between 92 and 93. I think it was 17 pounds. I mean, for a Mr. Olympia to put 17 pounds of pure muscle on stage, I don't know what Ronnie did between 97 and 98, but probably not that much. So I think it was unique.
So now you're not only known for being the biggest guy in your area, you always the hardest, the grainiest. How did you manage to do that? Did you ever work with someone, or did you do it all by yourself?
I did it all by myself. I mean, this concept of having a coach or working with somebody was totally foreign to me. I mean, the reason I like bodybuilding is because it was all me.
Right.
Like all my life, I felt like, for whatever reason, like family and this and that, I felt everyone's letting me down. I need to take care of myself, So I was not really a team player. I was very individual. So I studied the nutrition. I read every magazine, every book that's published probably between 1983 and 97. I had a huge collection at one point, and then they were in the basement and we had a flood and it all got destroyed. I worked everything out for myself and I kept notes and very analytical and strategic. If I tried something, I would make a small change and then I would see what effect that had. Or if I changed my training or diet, the same thing, and I'd make notes. Then I'd look back on last year and last week and last month. I got all this information, like almost like an experiment to see what works and what doesn't work. So what was unique that I did to get that look, the muscle shape and the muscle structure, that's genetic. That lean look, I got a daughter that's 20, my son is like 35, 36 now. They both don't have like any body fat, they're very lean naturally. Oh. And then I think the fact that I trained heavy, like all the time, and when I'm saying heavy, I mean, it's a relative thing, right? Heavy for you might not be heavy for me or vice versa, but I was doing like the basic exercises, 5 and 6 reps.
Yeah, I remember that. I followed
wasn't doing
you.
Like 10 and 12s, like most people. I was doing 5s and 6s.
So you basically trained exactly the way when you put that video out, that blood and guts. That was your workout.
The idea with the video was, I watched videos before. I watched everything, man. I never saw anybody like really training. You had these, the Road to the Olympia videos and stuff like that, where you see the guys in the gym before a contest and they're just kind of pumping and everything. I was never inspired. And you had to get a film company to come with the big cameras and everything.
Yeah.
And I realized what was happening, that the film companies are producing this material and they want to do it from their perspective. So they want to have good angles, they want to have good lighting, which is obviously going to interfere with you having a real workout. So I got a little puppy here who's making noise.
That's okay. That's okay.
I said to Kevin Horton, photographer,
Yes.
I'm like, Kevin, can you hire a camera and come to the gym and film me training? But I literally don't want to know you're there. I'm not going to talk to you. You're not going to talk to me. I don't give a shit about the lights. I want you to capture
Raw
what
workouts.
I'm doing and the energy and the weights and the what I'm really doing here. That was the tape that we ended up with, and that's why it was. So many people say to me, like, I used to watch it before I went to the gym.
I watched your tape so many times. If I tell you, I can't even remember how many times I watched you on specific body parts. Before I was on my way to the gym, I choose certain guys' body parts to get motivated. Yeah. And your tape was, all day, every day. And I remember I had people around me and that train in my gym. They will copy the way you groan and the way the sounds that you make. People will just, I was like, you watched Dorian's tape, didn't you? He said, yes.
Yeah.
You know?
They're copying my training partner with his phrases, you know?
I think even when I did my first video I did, this is the way I do it. The guy that I used from New Zealand to motivate me a little bit, I think he was motivated by your video. He started screaming at me. I didn't realize all this until I saw the video later because it was ridiculous, But no, your video, that video still to this day, I think is one of the most motivating and most inspiring training videos out there because it's literally raw. There's no...
afterwards, as I say, we were watching it, and I'm like, shall I do some voiceover? Shall I do some instruction? And in the end, I'm like, listen, man, it speaks for itself. I don't need to say anything. I don't need to say, lower the weight slowly and use good form and all that shit because you can see it. It's there, man.
It's there.
Look at it.
Everything included. With you spitting on the ground, everything included.
Yeah. Hey, it's my gym, man. I can do what I want. So
yeah, and for the people,
the gym owners that had people spitting on the floor because of me. But
there's a lot of people that spit on the floors because of you. That's true. You stayed in your little temple gym, and I was in there. It was a temple gym, and you just came back to the U.S. before the Olympia just to represent. I want to know. The consistency and condition, and compared to the guys, the bigger guys, let's say in the past 15 years, everybody over 250, 260, I have not seen anyone with your condition. Why would you say, what do you think is the reason for these guys behind you? Let's not talk about Ronnie. Let's talk about the guys other than Ronnie. Why do you think, what's the reason for these guys not bringing the size now, but they're not bringing the condition and the detail? Why do you think that is?
I don't know the actual specific reasons because I haven't really had a conversation with them. The only guy that I had a conversation with about current conditioning levels was Flex Lewis. Mm-hmm. Because he's British and, we got to see each other a bit more probably. And I spoke with him and he's coming in shape. So I said, Flex, what's up, man? What's up with the people? Why is the general standard seem to have declined? And he said, yeah, just lazy bastards. That was his response. But it's like every era has a standard. So when I became Mr. Olympia, I set the bar here, right? Not just for size, but for conditioning as well. So the other guys saw that and they're like, man, I got to kick my ass because I got to try to get there or somewhere near that. That's the standard, right? Where now guys are coming in. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, man. I'm just saying that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Guys are coming in now being more concerned about being fuller and rounder and not so much with the condition, whereas before we were like more on the condition. And if I get a little bit flat and I lose a bit of fire, screw it, but I got to be shredded, man.
Right.
So there was a different mentality, I think, and the accepted standard was different by the competitors and maybe by the judges I used to looking at and so on.